We rise for the lighting of the holiday candles.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel yom tov. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Now turn to the person to your right, turn to the person to your left, turn to the people around you, and say, Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Introduce yourself, learn a name, pat it back.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova, virtual community.
It's okay, you can walk a couple steps if you need to. Nobody's gonna steal your seat.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים.
שבת אחים גם יחד.
הנה מה טוב. שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב. שבת אחים גם יחד.
You may be seated, but keep singing. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים.
שבת אחים גם יחד.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב. שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב.
שבת אחים גם יחד.
One more time. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד.
Just in case anybody hasn't heard yet, I tore my bicep, had surgery a week and a half ago, and I'm back in action. God likes me to have a challenge on the high holidays, apparently. But thank you to all the sympathy and for all the people who've helped. And I'm really happy and proud to be here with you along with my partner, Cantor Naomi. Welcome, welcome, Shana Tova. This Rosh Hashanah, each of us has a particular thing as we enter this space, just as I do. Each of us enter with a different need. Some hearts are full of gratitude and joy. Some are overflowing with the happiness of love and joy in life. Some are ambitious and eager to make the world more fair. Some have recovered from illness or escaped misfortune, and we rejoice with them. Some hearts enter with sorrow. Disappointments may weigh heavily on them, or they've been in despair. Some families have been broken this past year. Some loved ones lie in bed in pain, unable to be here with us. Death may have taken someone we've cherished. May our presence and sympathy bring them comfort. Some of our hearts have been embittered this year. Some have grown disillusioned and lost faith. Some have experienced injustice. May they know that they are not alone and that we too, each and every one of us, are also searching. And may that knowledge restore hope that there is something we will find together. Some spirits hunger for greater connection. Some long for friendship, crave understanding, and yearn for warmth. This night, we come together as a community with all of that as one, each with different needs, but always sharing in our strength, our love, and our prayers. And in this way, we lessen each other's burdens and light the way for each other in dark times. And in this way, with our different needs and different gifts, giving and taking in mutuality, we endeavor in the holy practice of loving communal harmony. We rise for the Baruch Hu on page 5.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated as we continue on page 5.
מעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. די, 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 Baruch atah Adonai, Amariv, Aravim.
Amen. We're on the top of page 6, remembering God's eternal love.
ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. די, 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 Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavadcha et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol lebavcha ub'chol nafshecha, ub'chol me'odecha, v'hayu הדברים האלה, אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
We continue on page 7 with the latter two paragraphs of the Shema. Working through the traditional Hebrew, the English. We'll meet up with the cantor toward the bottom. Vayomer Adonai Moshe lemor daber b'nisem tzitzi al kanfei b'nun tzitzi al kanfei b'nun tzitzi al kanfei b'nun
Adonai Elohechem emet.
We're moving over to page 8. In just a moment, we'll be at the red arrow in the middle of the page.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ובני ישראל, לכנו שירה בשמחה רבה, ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
As we turn over to page 9, Let's look on the English side of the page on the left-hand side and read responsively at the top where it says the second bracha after Shema, peace in the night. Allow us, Adonai our God, to sleep peacefully and to awaken again to life, our sovereign. Shield us, remove from us enemies and pestilence, swords, starvation, and sorrow, and remove the evil forces that surround us. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace, now and forever. Ata Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us and over all the people of Israel and over Jerusalem.
Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, baruch ata Adonai, apores sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
There's a Hasidic story about the Chernobyl Rebbe, Rabbi Nachum of Chernobyl. It was Erev Rosh Hashanah, just like tonight, and everyone in the shul was praying with fervor, especially the Rebbe himself. Well, next to the Rebbe was his grandson, who had just a sick pit in his stomach, and this feeling of his spirit was shrinking. Everybody was davening with such passion and energy, but for him, it took like all his strength just to concentrate a little bit, just to figure out a single word and to grasp its meaning. Afterward, the embarrassed grandson approached the Rebbe. He was so concerned that his prayer was unacceptable. He couldn't even make it through the whole service. The Chernobyler turned to him and said, "My son, your prayer took heaven by storm today. It pushed all the other prayers through the celestial gates. And in just a moment, we will say the silent standing prayer, the Amidah, the first of many that we recite over the next week and a half. And each of us come into this holiday with our own relationship with prayer, our own relationship with the prayer book, our relationship with the language, and it is intense and overwhelming and sometimes strange. Prayer, I want to remind us, is not intended to be something for which we strive for perfection in form. Prayer is not an emblem of vanity or competition. Prayer touches the place within us that no one else can touch. It's in your deepest breath, your nishmat chaim, the breath of life, and it is there that resides your neshama, your soul. Prayer is meant to awaken your breath, to arouse your soul so that you can uncover something about who you are, and in doing so, encounter the presence of God deep within. Please rise for Tiku B'Chodesh on page 10.
Tiku b'chodesh shofar, b'kesel yom chagenu, ki chok l'Yisrael hu, mishpat l'Elohei Yaakov. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'amad yivrach yirutei, ve'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchayedecho beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv, ve'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach, le'alam ul'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה בריחו לעילה לעילה, מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן ועלמה, ואמרו Amen.
The silent standing prayer goes from page 11 to 17. Again, this is your opportunity. You can work through the traditional Hebrew, the English, you can study the side columns. This is your prayer. It's your opportunity to open up, to go inside with your own private meditation. When you finish praying your prayer, you may be seated. One of the really beautiful things about being a part of Kol Shofar and the High Holidays is that each one of the services that we have in this room, we always invite up somebody from the community to share their personal journey, and maybe somebody that you haven't met, maybe somebody that you know, and you're going to learn something else about them. We get to see the diversity, the kaleidoscope, the spectrum of beauty of the neshamas, the souls in our community. And so tonight, for our personal journey on this Erev Rosh Hashanah, it is my honor and pleasure to welcome up Lisa Monge.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are all? Shana Tova to everyone. This is very special. Thank you. As we gather tonight to welcome a new year filled with hope and promise, I stand before you filled with a deep sense of gratitude and love for this community that has welcomed me with open arms. My journey to Judaism has been very long. It unfolded when I was back in Costa Rica. I had a lot of friends that were Jewish, and I have been a traveler, and I love to learn history and religions. So I took a high school class about religions, and from there, just went to visit many sites. And I was always intrigued about what about me was Jewish, because I felt like I belonged. As this flame grew brighter, when I embraced the opportunity to learn more about Jewish experiences by visiting significant historical sites, each journey, whether to the Schindler's Museum in Germany or the Auschwitz in Poland, immersed me in a history marked by both unspeakable tragedy and extraordinary heroism. The lessons echoed through this experience were profound. When one person's act with courage and compassion, they can indeed save a life, and they can indeed save a world. After the events of October 7, it woke something on me. I wasn't just sad for what was happening, I felt like it was sad for my community. My encounter with that and many other things deepened my understanding and my commitment to this mission as a Jewish educator. I am the assistant director of the Grove Preschool currently, but I had 8 formative years as a teacher at Congregation Bet Shalom in the city. I walk alongside many young souls eager to learn about their heritage. And with those children, I learned, and I started celebrating the holidays and the rituals and the traditions, getting along with families and learning more from my Jewish educators. That journey also led me to the opportunity of opening the preschool here alongside Catherine Barboni. And I realizing how much I wanted to belong, to be part of the community. I approached Rabbi Paul. He thought, maybe just started, she's excited, but I kept on digging and digging. I approached Cantor Naomi. Finally, he welcomed me to his class on Sundays, where I learned a lot. The decision to convert was just not a commitment to me, but a heartfelt affirmation of my identity as I strive to embody the Jewish values. My journey culminated with a visit of Israel last year, where standing at the Kotel, I felt the weight of centuries of shared history, our struggles, our triumphs. Each ancient stone is a testament of resilience, a reminder of our obligations that we carry to honor those who came before us, and to continue to advocate for a brighter future and to cherish the diversity of human experiences. My conversion ceremony was my promise to weave my life into the rich fabric of Jewish tradition. It was a very profound moment of significant joy and public affirmation of my belonging. My belonging to the community, to the teachings of the Torah, and to our shared Jewish history. And I'm incredibly blessed to have many people alongside me to always keep me with that energy. In this season of renewal, I am filled with gratitude for every step that has paved my way here. I welcome the opportunity to contribute to our collective journey, to embrace the Jewish values and teachings, to foster compassion, understanding, and justice in all we do. As we enter this new year, my hope is that with this bring us, each of us, closer to one another, deepens our connections, and inspire our hearts to spread love and kindness through our community and beyond. May we embrace this new beginning with open hearts and open minds, nurturing a world where every life matters. Thank you, Rabbi Paul, and to all of you, my community, for sharing with me this new year, and Shana Tova Umetuka.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. It was beautiful. We're very lucky to have you. Shana Tova. Now we're going to turn to the Kaddish Shalem, on page 19.
Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah V'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon u'biyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael v'hagala u'bizman karim v'imru amen Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach ve'alam u'lamei almaya yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'alal Shemei dekudesha brichu le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma ve'imru amen titkabal tzlodon uva'utahon dechol Yisrael kodam avohon tivishmaya ve'imru amen Yeshlam Rabbah min Shemaya b'chaim Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
So on the holiday of Shavuot, which always falls exactly 7 weeks after Passover, we remember the giving of the Torah at Sinai. But of course, in order to give a gift, especially a gift like that, you have to decide who to give it to. And the rabbis spin a midrash, a legend that's not in the Torah itself, that when God prepared to give the Torah to the Jewish people, the angels in heaven got upset. They said, really? You're going to give the Torah to them? They're going to disobey. They're going to cause problems. They're going to lie, cheat, and steal. They're going to violate all the laws that you, God, put in there. Give us the Torah instead. We'll do well by it. We never deviate from your will. And there are a couple variations to this midrash, but one of them imagines Moses himself coming to the angels and saying, exactly. You don't deviate from God's will. So what do you need a Torah for? Torah says, lo tignov, don't steal. Angels don't steal. Torah says, don't lie. Angels don't lie. You got to give the Torah to people who need a Torah. And so we got the Torah, and the angels and God conceded that Moses was right. A midrash like this definitely makes you think about and ask about what human beings are like. But it also makes you question what angels are like. And for us on this holiday, which is filled with liturgy that includes reference to angels in heaven, it makes sense to ask, who are these beings that God was talking to about the Torah and who are invoked over and over and over again? In the Tanakh, in the Hebrew Bible, the Hebrew word for angel is, malach, which means messenger. But they're not what you expect. When you read the Tanakh, it's not like angels are walking around on earth with wings. If, for example, if you look in chapter 13 of the book of Judges and you read the story of one of the most famous biblical figures, the birth of Samson, there you read about Samson's mother who is barren. And an angel comes to her and says, guess what? You're going to get pregnant and you're going to have a very special son. His name is going to be Shimshon. It's going to be Samson. And at first, she sees that angel as a man, not as an angel. And she says to her husband, Ish Elohim ba'elai umarehu kimareh malach Elohim. A man of God came to me, and his appearance was like the appearance of an angel of God. And when her husband goes and talks to him, he doesn't even know he's an angel. Not until the very end of the story, when the angel ascends up to the heavens in a flame from an altar, and then he's shocked and goes, ha ha. This was an angel all along. This was not merely my neighbor. James Kugel, the great biblical scholar from Bar-Ilan University and Harvard, and author of the book How to Read the Bible, again and again points out that angels in the Hebrew Bible look like human beings. 3 men come to Abraham and tell him he's going to have a son. And what does he do? He rushes to make them a meal. Actually, more accurately, he gets Sarah to rush and make them a meal. But Abraham doesn't think they're angels. He just thinks they're people visiting who might be hungry. And the same thing doesn't just happen to Samson's parents and to Abraham. It also happens to Joshua. When Joshua enters the land of Israel and he's nearing Jericho, he sees an angel before him, but doesn't know it's an angel. And he asks, Halanu ata im letzarenu? Are you one of us or with our enemies? And the angel literally has to tell him, no, I am of the Lord of hosts. I'm an angel. Now, why does he have to tell Joshua he's an angel? And I'm not talking about like trivial biblical figures here. I'm talking about Abraham and Joshua. And still, when an angel is right in front of them, when they're looking at an angel and talking to an angel, they see a human being. So it is possible, and not only possible, but according to the Bible, quite clear that angels look like people. Yes, there are visions of angels, like Ezekiel's vision of angel, that clearly don't describe anything human. But apart from ecstatic prophetic visions, when we're talking about the everyday encounters with an angel looks like you, and you, and you. They look like us. An angel looks like a person. Maybe is a person. If an angel is a malach, a messenger of God, it's not impossible in our lives that we act as such messengers, that we fulfill the function for each other as angels, that we grant each other a moment, a transcendent moment of insight or of beauty or of mission or of purpose. And in that moment, we have an encounter with an angel. The great Italian 13th century poet Dante, who wrote the Divine Comedy, where he describes the medieval conception of heaven and hell, well, he has an encounter with a woman before writing that work named Beatrice, and his whole life has changed. She, for him, is a source of peace and wisdom, someone who, as the poet put it, was bathed in angelic light. And so in his masterpiece, Beatrice, the woman he met, becomes his guide in the story to paradise. She was his angel. And despite the fact that she was a human being, she changes his life. And if it is possible that we can see angels, then of course it is possible that we can be angels. All of this is particularly vivid and important to me in this past year of mourning my father. I remember in the first couple weeks after his passing, there were many people that reached out to tell me or my family how my dad was such an important presence in their life. And there were even critical times when they saw my dad as having saved them. Not that they necessarily used the term being saved, but he was, in the sense that we're talking about now, he was an angel for them. And so this idea that as we pass through life, we have ongoing opportunities to be messengers, to look into someone's eyes, to say a word, to change a life, to be a malach that is understood over and over and over again by poets, by the prophets, by the Bible, by blessed children, by the ones who get to see the angelic operations in their own lives. The great lonesome poet of the American tradition, Emily Dickinson, had a remarkable short four-line poem. She wrote, "Who has not found the heaven below will fail of it above. For angels rent the house next ours, wherever we remove." I want to unpack that with you because there's so much in there. She says, whoever hasn't found heaven below, in other words, if you don't find glimpses of heaven down here, you fail of it above. You're not going to find it when your time comes and you go up there. And then she says, for angels rent the house next ours. There are angels next door. They're renting the house next door, didn't you know? Wherever we remove. That is, no matter where you live, that's always true. So the key, in part for Dickinson, is angel spotting. It's not that they're not there, it's just that those who fail to see them below won't see them above either. It's not that there isn't angels, it's that there isn't vision. But if you're granted vision, then you see them. And so it was significant that it was Samson's mother who sees the angel and not his father. She has to tell her husband to go look at the angel because she has vision. And in fact, when she tells him to look at the angel, he's afraid. He says, you can't look at the face of God. If you do, you'll die. In the meantime, she's already had 2 conversations with the angel because she knows that angels rent the house next door. That is our possibility to accomplish for one another. That you don't need wings. You don't have to be supernatural. That's what Moses was doing by grabbing the Torah from heaven so that human beings could be angel-like. So that from time to time we can transcend our smallness, our narrowness, our cruelties, our pettiness, that despite all that we might still touch, inspire, help someone else, change their life, and be a messenger. Abraham Joshua Heschel, the great poet theologian of Judaism of the 20th century, said that the Jewish people is a messenger that has forgotten its message. But today on Rosh Hashanah, when we celebrate the creation of the world, the creation of us as human beings, we remind ourselves of what is within our power, of our gifts, our opportunities, and that to be human is to have a message, and that we are in fact malachim. Each and every one of us are messengers. And if we live our lives that way, then that is how we will be remembered and cherished by those that come after us. On Yom Kippur, we have the Yizkor service, the memorial service. We remember those people who were precious to us, who were our malachim. But today on Rosh Hashanah, I want to point out, did you know it's also called Yom HaZikaron? The Day of Remembrance? This is one of the names of the holiday. So before we remember our loved ones in just over a week, let us be blessed to remember what we are truly made of, our own value, of which God imbued us, our worth, our power, our purpose, which is to live a life of meaning, a life of vision, And in this time of division and uncertainty, let us be blessed to open our eyes to all the angels in our midst, and in doing so, become more angelic ourselves. Shana Tova. I invite the cantor to come back for the Kiddush and Shechianu on page 24, and I invite all of you to please rise if you're able.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol am, romamanu mikol lashon, v'kiddushanu b'mitzvotav. Batiten lanu Adonai Eloheinu be'ahava et yom hazikaron hazeh yom teru mikra kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim udvarcha emet ve'kayam la'ad Baruch atah Adonai melech al kol haaretz mekadesh Yisrael v'yom hazikaron Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Amen, amen, Chaim. We remain standing for Aleinu, page 25.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, latet gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ועושה ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו ככתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשב אותה אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים שמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר היה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
May be seated. We turn a couple pages forward to page 27 for the psalm for the season. And in a moment, we'll sing together the bolded or in the transliterated on the left hand. Sing that when we get to it.
Adonai ori v'ishi mimir, Adonai me'os chayai, mimi efchad, Rabalai mare'im le'echol b'sari. Achat shalti meit Adonai, otavakesh. Achat shalti meit Adonai, otavakesh. Shiti b'veit Adonai, hoyamei chayai. Lachazot benoam, benoam Adonai, ulvaker v'echalo. Lachazot benoam, benoam Adonai, ulvaker v'echalo. Ki yitzpaneni v'suko v'yom ra'ah, astireni v'seter olam, tzoriyoni, atayaru shia, v'esvilotai.
The bottom right arrow.
Ulehamanti lirot b'tuv Adonai be'eretz chayim. Kaveh, kaveh, kaveh el Adonai. Kaveh, kaveh, kaveh el Adonai. Kaveh el Adonai. Chazak v'yamitz libecha. V'kaveh el Adonai.
All those who are mourning, those observing a yard site, the anniversary of the loss of a loved one, please stand with me, turning back a page to page 26. And as the custom here for these last Kaddish, for the last Kaddish of our service, if you see someone standing alone, please join them shoulder to shoulder in solidarity. As no one in our community, no one should be grieving alone. Page 26. Yitgadal, Yitgadash, Shemei Rabbah, Ve'alma Divrach, Yutei, Ve'amlich, Malchutei, V'chayichon, V'mechon, V'chayei, V'chol Beit Yisrael, Bagalau, V'zman Kariv, Yimru Amen, Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevarach, L'olam Amen, Yitbarach, Yishtabach, Yitba'ar, V'tramam, V'yitnaseh, V'tadar, V'talev, V'talal, Shemei Kusha, Eila le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tush v'chata v'nechamata damiran belma v'yimru amen Yehei shlam araba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yalko Yisrael v'yimru amen Seh shalom beromav Huya seh shalom aleinu v'yalko Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the Holy One above bring blessing and peace to those below, and that we say Before we conclude with Yigdal, this time of renewal and healing, I want to share a prayer for our congregation. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless this holy congregation, the adults and the children. May kindness, love, and compassion fill our hearts and be the mark of our expression. May we be granted a long life with all of our needs provided for, and with the good fortune of bodily health and spiritual enlightenment. May our children thrive with resilience and courage. May they grow to enhance their love, the study of Torah, their pride in the Jewish people, and their care and support for the Jewish homeland of Israel. May the source of life, the unifying energy and spirit of the universe bless us so that we are freed of all distress and difficult circumstance. Spread over us a Sukkot Shalom, a divine canopy of peace, planting within us love and unity, peace and friendship. Banish all hate and resentment among us. May God bless us to be sustained in all seasons and times, granting each and every one of us a good and sweet new year. And that we say, Amen. We conclude with the Yigdal on page 28.
Yigdal Elohim chai v'yishtabach נמצא ואין עד אל מציאותו, אחד ואין יחיד כייחודו, נעלם וגם אין סוף לאחדותו, אין לו דמות הגוף ואינו גוף, לא נערוך אל קדושתו, קדמון לכל דבר אשר נברא, ראשון ואין ראשית כראשיתו, הינו אדון עולם וכל נוצר, יורה גדולתו ומלכותו, שפע נבואתו נתנו אל אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו, לא קם בישראל כמו שעוד נביא ומביט את אמונתו, תורת אמת נתן לעמו אל, על יד נביאו נאמן ביתו, לא יחליף האל ולא ימיר דתו, לעולמים לזולתו, צופה ויודע סתרנו, מביט לסוף דבר בקדמתו, גומל איש חסד במפעלו, נותן לרשע רע כרשעתו, ישלח לקץ ימין משיחנו, לפתות מחכה קץ ישועתו, מתים יחייל ברוב חסדו, ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו, מתים יחייל ברוב חסדו, ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו.
Shana Tova Tikateu V'Tichatemu. We will be here again tomorrow morning. Services start here at 9 o'clock in the morning. The family service for 0 to 10 years old starts in the sanctuary in the Beit Knesset, also at 9 o'clock. There is a 10 to 10:30 Kiddush for that group. Childcare starts at 10:30. The musical meditation service with Saul K. and the band begins in the sanctuary also at 10:30. And we have Tashlik tomorrow immediately following services somewhere around 1-ish. And of course, day 2 Rosh Hashanah, 9 a.m. in the sanctuary again. I wish you all a Shana Tova Umetuga, a good sweet year, and happy to be celebrating a new year with you, 5786. You can bring your books out if you will, put them back, and be careful it's dark out there as you head to your cars.